that is always our concern, according to Srila Guru Maharaj, is the quality of a thing. Just that we're using the paraphernalia of Vaishnavas does not ensure quality. Perhaps it's in a song somewhere of Bhaktivinoda Thakur where he uses the expression Kali Chela. And he's saying, even though someone may be wearing the dress of a Vaishnava, the insignia of the Vaishnava, the Kantimala, all of these things, they may be Kali Chela, servants of Kali, disguised as Vaishnavas. Srila Gurudev, there are many different divine characters wandering around Navadvip and other places. And Gurudev, there's a fish market in this one place. And he used to tell the story of the one man who's there with the big Tulsi Mala, the big tilak, and Jai Go, Nitai Go. And he'd be walking with those little rupee bags. And he said, and you'd see in the bag a fishtail going like this. Or the other man, he told, every year he's very movingly, feelingly bringing one goat for sacrifice during Kali Puja. And then one year he's an old man, they notice this year he doesn't bring a goat. And they're saying, Baba, why no goat this year? And he goes, no teeth. So then we can understand where is his devotion? So, interestingly, it says Sutrojvala Kara. Hare Krishneti Uche Spurita Vivasa. In the Chaitanyastakam of Srila Rupa Goswami, he mentions that Hare Krishna Uche Spurita Rasa Natano Lasa Vivasa. Mahaprabhu is taking the holy name of Krishna, his own name, as Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur says, Mahaprabhu Gauranga Sundara Nagara Bara Nityam Nijernamabi. But here, that's Nimai Pandit and Navadip, but here, the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanyastakam, Rupa Goswami says he's taking the name, but he's counting on a knot. He wore like a rope around his waist, a knotted rope, and he's counting there. So really, it's for counting, to keep track of counting. They call samkyanam apurvaka gana natibi kala vishani krito, mentioned about the Goswamis. So they are counting, but not with the notion that quantity produces quality, but in a divine sort of way. 108 names for round, or a lakh of Krishna Nam. Sahajiyas try to make much out of quantity. Quoting the Chaitanya Bhagavad in one place, Mahaprabhu mysteriously says, today, what would translate as, today I want to eat in the house of a millionaire. So we know in Vedic culture, Mahaprabhu, he's refusing to meet with Pratap Purudra Maharaj because he's a Raja, he's a king. And that would be considered a violation for someone in the sannyas ashram at that time, to get the association of someone who's so mundane. So when Mahaprabhu says surprisingly, today I want to eat in the house of a millionaire, the actual word is lakpati. He means, lakh means 100,000. So everyone's surprised. And he said, I don't mean mundane wealth. I mean someone who takes a lakh of Krishna Nam every day. That's 64 rounds. And he says, and in fact, if someone doesn't chant 64 rounds, they're not a lakpati, I refuse to dine there or accept their offering. So they will say, you see, if you don't chant 64 rounds, you're not eating prasadam. Mahaprabhu himself says, I won't accept that. So whenever we apply mundane intelligence to the advice of gurus, scriptural sayings, whatever, we can come up with all kinds of speculative reasoning. So some former friends who'd come under that influence, they were visiting Guru Maharaj, they visited me at the time. And I gave what my answer was at the time, which is not uninteresting. My immediate response at the moment was, I said, so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakta upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If you offer me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, water, I'll accept it. Guru Maharaj said, offer it in love, I'll accept it in love. Right? And that's Krishna. Right? Inaccessible Krishna of Vrindavan, which is reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. He's saying, if you do this, I'll accept it. And he said, but you're trying to tell me, Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Mahavadanaya avatar, he won't. Krishna will, but Mahaprabhu won't. Anyway, it went on, and then they left, and Guru Maharaj, I was talking to him later, and he was lamenting how they'd come under the influence of Sahajiyaism, and reminded with the sloka, Vaikunter Pritivyadi Sakala Chinmoy. Everything in the spiritual domain, it's Chinmoy, it's spiritual substance. You won't get it through the manipulation of the mundane, by reconfiguring the mundane, by any combination of mundane, any amount of mundane. Ultimately summarized in his sutric-like expression, the sum total of the finite is never equal to the infinite. Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavyed Grahyamindriye. Rupa Goswami is saying, the name of Krishna, the form of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna are beyond the grasp of the mind, intellect, etc. So, anyway, I said what they told me, this reference to Chaitanya Bhagavat, Ekalaka, that if one doesn't chant a lakh of Krishna Nam 64 rounds a day, Mahaprabhu will not accept their offering. And Guru Maharaj, he laughed, he giggled, he went, he said, Ekalaka means a particular quality. So Mahaprabhu is not talking about anyone who mindlessly achieves as Guru Maharaj said, the repetition of sensation is not experienced. Just to vibrate a sound a certain number of times, that's not what he's talking about. But of a particular quality in a particular quantity, that's another subject. As we told when Guru Maharaj once said, because he's always speaking about form versus substance and siding with substance when when they're incongruous or there's a conflict, to side with substance and to ignore the form. But he said, but in Vrindavan, Radhika Madhavasham, which is the aspiration, our aspiration, ultimately to serve in that plane under the guidance of Sri Rupa and his followers. He said there, form and substance are one. It's the highest quality in the highest quantity. Mahabhav. That is Srimati Radharani. She is the highest quality of Krishna consciousness in the highest quantity. That means Mahabhav. That means Radharani. So he said it means a particular quality. He's stuck with his theme throughout, the quality of a thing. Right? So 4 rounds is the minimum. Quoted Saraswati Tagore saying, Malika, which means japa mala. Malika, upabash, fasting? Nah, no. Don't let your mala fast. Give it something. Right? And for those who did not have full-time service engagement or getting older, withdrawn for some, they're increasing the number if the quality is there. Right? But I still recall, when you're talking about, so one thing we established, counting, Mahaprabhu counted. He kept track on knotted rope, right? Not on tulsi beads. Right? So he's counting there. Because Rupa Goswami says in his Chaitanyastakam how beautiful it looked, like we say, Venam Kare Kankanam, Krishna's fingers moving on the flute. Rupa Goswami is saying, when Mahaprabhu would be taking Krishna Nam, and how beautiful his hands looked as he was working that cloth. The movement, the gesture of his fingers and other things. So, but as far as Tulsi goes, that is a tradition of the Vaishnavas, the Kanti Mala, the Tulsi Mala. Srila Guru Maharaj used to quote one of his godbrothers saying, maybe Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha, that a dog without a collar gets shot. That's an old thing. So, you know, we hear in the 6th canto how the Yamadutas revere, well, Ajamil takes the name, but by extension, the symbols of the Vaishnava are revered by the Yamadutas. But I recall Srila Gurudev saying in Sokel once, he said, he's talking about chanting on Tulsi beads on the Japamala. And he compared that to holding the lotus feet of Tulsi Devi. That's how he described it. And he said in this way, in a very sweet way, he said, maybe I've done something wrong and Krishna doesn't like me. I'm just telling you the words he said. Maybe I've done something wrong and Krishna doesn't like me. He said, but if I hold the lotus feet of Tulsi Devi and I take Krishna Nam, he said, then he has to give his attention. And that shows his pure Shuddha Bhakti, Mahabhagavata nature. He's thinking like that. And it's totally consistent with everything expressed everywhere. That through the devotee, so we revere Tulsi Devi. We know how dear she is to Krishna. Krishna won't accept, talking about accepting offerings. Krishna saying, I won't accept any offerings without the Tulsi. Right? Garga Sangita says, if like sometimes we don't have flowers, here this place is so blessed. There's so many flowers. But when Prabhupada first went to Moscow, Srila Prabhupada, and you see the famous picture, he's walking in Red Square. When he came back, and devotees would say, well, how is it? You know, sometimes we know when Prabhupada went there, Guru Maharaj said the cloud of atheism hovering over the country was dissipated, and then the Krishna consciousness movement could thrive there. But at the time, Prabhupada said, no fruits, no flowers, no Vaishnavas. So, and we know in places like that, or in Siberia, they have the snow flowers. You know, right? See the little, in the springtime coming out, you've seen them in Tomsk. Little flowers come out of the snow. What's the Russian name? All right. I'm not going to disagree.
means coming on the snow.
Oh, okay. There you go. Otherwise in English, known as a snowflower. So, so what I mean to say is, so Garga Samhita says, how to understand Tulsi? First of all, it's been told, the mystical fragrance of Tulsi, only Krishna can fully appreciate that. What is there? The mundane sense of smell cannot grasp that, right? Atakshi Krishna namadi na bhavyed grahyam indriye. But it's pointed out in Garga Samhita, one tulsi leaf, it has the fragrance and is equivalent to offering all the beautiful fragrant flowers of the world are possessed in one tulsi leaf. So when you offer one tulsi leaf to Krishna, hopefully more than one, but one possesses all the beautiful, it's like offering him a bouquet of all the beautiful flowers there are in existence. And Krishna relishes that fragrance. And sometimes those moved by devotion can appreciate that. Tasyaravinda nayanasya padaravinda Kinjalka misra tulasi makaranda vayu antargata svavivarena chakaratesham shankshobham api jusham api chittatanvo. Then the four Kumaras, when they're approaching the gates of Vaikuntha, and there's Narayan, and he's got the tulsi garland, it says tasyaravinda nayanasya padaravinda, mixed with the fragrance of his lotus feet and the tulsi leaves, enters their nostrils, and they're totally transformed by that aroma. It's a totally liberating aroma for one under the influence of devotion and by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So anyway, in many places, the glories of Tulsi Devi are known. So the devotees, they're wearing the Tulsi Mala, Kanti Mala, and the Tulsi Mala, taking Krishna Nam, praying with, I have no hope. How can I vibrate Krishna Nam? But here's Tulsi Devi holding her lotus feet. We're praying something. And it's the order of Guru. And the order of Guru is always good. Srila Gurudev spoke about this in Holland and connected it to the Mahabharata. It was an extraordinary talk he gave, the Abhimanyu Leela and pastimes. But there he mentioned that even where, and here was in the case of Astra Gurus, means martial arts guru, and sometimes running contrary to what one might expect. And what's the ultimate example? Parasuram, well, should we say, he was told to kill his mother by his guru, did it without hesitation. Understanding, the order of Guru is good for everyone. I know this is the only part people will remember, and it'll be all over the internet. Maharaj said, kill your mother is Krishna consciousness. I don't know what the whole talk was, but it was something like that. Right. Read the book is all I can say. Study it in context. I report, you decide. No, you don't. Actually, they decide. And just adjust yourself with what they decide. But it's just making the point to the extreme that the order of Guru is always good under all circumstances. So that we've been told by Guru, we're saying, I have no capacity to take the name. Look at the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What is he saying? Saying, Kabe habe bolo se din amar. When will that day come? Amar aparadha guchi shuddha nama ruchi. When my offenses will cease, and then I'll have some taste for the name. Right? He's extracted that from Shikshastakam. Nam nama kari bahudha nija sarva shaktis, the second part. Nam nama kari bahudha nija sarva shaktis tatarpita niyamata smarane nakala. There's no rule or regulation about this. Even when in the toilet, one can take the name of Krishna. That a guru learned from his disciple. What did he call it? Gopal Guru Goswami. The guru, he would always not take Krishna Nam when he entered the, let's say, bathroom. But niyamata smarane, there's no time when it's inappropriate to remember the name of Krishna or to take the name of Krishna. Once some devotee came on the veranda in Navadvip, and we wanted to put on a new Brahmin thread and do it in a ritualistic way, and asked Gurudev, what is that mantra? And Gurudev's like, ask Krishna Sharan, ask Aranya Maharaj, So they go to Aranya Maharaj, and he's there with those glasses, Hare Krishna Prabhu, He's got the glasses that are like two magnifying glasses turned into spectacles. And he doesn't have Google or a database or a server or a laptop or anything, but what he does have is a stack of papers. So he starts going through all these papers looking for it. Some little papers, some are big papers, some are thick papers, some are thin, and he goes through the whole stack. He can't find it. And he's, an extreme Brahmin. Right? Would do all the yagyas and etc. We revere him. Bhakti Prasoon Aranya Maharaj. Went to the Bhakti Vinod Institute as a child. That's where he went to school. He said, where's your alma mater? The Bhakti Vinod Institute. Where'd you go? Hell. Hell high. So, anyway, then they come back and tell Gurudev, Aranya Maharaj can't find it either. That mantra. Gurudev goes, chant Hare Krishna. Touch it to your and say, Hare Krishna. It's Krishna's Babaji Maharaj. You ask him any question. One answer. Hare Krishna. It's his answer for everything. And he's right. Who's going to argue with that? I'm not. I didn't argue. So, we're told, chant all the time. When you're sleeping, when you wake up from sleep, when you go to sleep, when you do anything, can take Krishna Nam. Not just when we're counting. And Guru Maharaj pointed out, he said, you won't see pictures of the Braja Gopis with the mala. What you will see is with the churning rod, making butter, yogurt. That way you'll see them. But you won't see them. He said at that point, just as he said, Gayatri retires at liberation. Its purpose, Gana Trayate, is to liberate one. When one is liberated, entering the service world, it retires. And he said at that point, and what about Harinam, Krishnanam? On automatic. Bande Nanda Brajastrinam Pararenum Abhikshnasa. Yasam Harikatod Gitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam. their bangles. Mahaprabhu in his divine trance, when Swarup Damodar and the others pulled him out with their Krishna Nam, and he said, the sound of the ornaments of the Braja Gopis was inconceivably beautiful, and you all made some noise and disturbed my happy dream, and now it's left me. So the sound of the Nupur and the bangles of the Braja Gopis was inconceivably beautiful, and here in this context, you say, and the Krishna Nam of Swarup Damodar and the others was noise. So what is Krishna consciousness? Radharani's earrings vibrate Krishna Nam. So we have to be remade in the image and likeness of the Vaishnavas, how they see us. That's what they say. How are you? They say, as you keep me. As I am to you, that's how I am. As you conceive of me, in that way I am. And that is unknown to me. That is known to you. That is the position of a devotee. And this runs against the grain of the humanism, the humanistic sloganeering, mantrams of humanism that we've all been poisoned with. To think that we're so great and we're the center of everything. And Vaishnavism is to annihilate humanism and establish just the opposite. Gopi Bartu Parakamaleo Dasa Dasanudasa. Tad Britya Britya Paricharaka Britya Britya Brityasya Britya Smaran Lokanatha, whatever. Guru Maharaj said, these are not just like clever sayings, it's reality. The aspiration to be the servant of the servant of the servant. This should become clear if we understand anything about the Guru Parampara. How do we see the Bhakti Vinod and Gaura-Kishoras Babaji Saraswati Thakur, Guru Maharaj Guru? If we see, and then we can understand servant of the servant of the servant. Is not only is it a reality, but it's a very high achievement. It's an aspiration. We aspire to that position. To even say that one has that position is too much audacity. But always and forever under the care and guidance of the servitors. And it's always through the servitors to approach Krishna. This is broadcast by Raghunath Das Goswami, the Bilapa Kusumanjali, Sakkaya me, Mama namostu nityam, Dashayate mama rasastu satyam. Sakkaya here means really intimacy. In the higher group of servitors. He's saying, that's worshipable to me. My focus is on the least aspect, the least service. And if out of necessity one is called into the higher plane, you're answering the call of service. It's not out of curiosity or trying to enter by force. Guru Maharaj wants to, crash the harem of Krishna. What will be thought of someone who wants to forcibly enter the harem? That they're there for some ungodly purpose. So, all of these things have to be understood like with great care and caution according to Srila Guru Maharaj. And I say this as someone who's proceeded incautiously thousands of times. But it will always be the key, the clue is devotion. Just as we sing today, Shuddha Bhakata Charanareno Bhajan Anukul. What's favorable for devotion? For devotion, that is favorable for you, for me, for everyone. Not that what we think will be good or That's why this song is sung on Ekadashi. Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. Madhavatiti means the different times or days that are dear to Krishna, to Madhava. Madhava means Krishna. Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. By honoring these days, such as Ekadashi, Dwadashi, and other, Janmastami, Gaur Purnima, all these days, saying it will be favorable to the culture of devotion, not that it'll free you from sinful activity, you did something wrong, now you're really in trouble, call mom, you're in a jam, we need some karma mitra bhakti to get us out of a jam, I screwed up. Right? Like those are things like, oh, I blew it on Ekadashi. I'll fast on this day and recover from that. What happens by imitating Mahabhagavatas? Like this, Bhima was given this benediction from Guru. He didn't go, well, let me think. He asked his Guru, and he was told, yes, all right, I have this problem, I can't observe. All right, on this day, if you'll do this, then for you, Bhima, it'll be all right. Then we say, oh, I'm doing that. Me and Bhima. We're told, Srila Prabhupada cautions in the Upadeshamritam purport, you imitate the Mahabhagavata, you go down. So, following this idea, where did some go? They don't observe any Ekadashi during the year. Just once a year, this day, they don't take any water. Is that bhajan anukul? That's favorable for devotion. It is to not understand this. Dwadashi is also bhajan anukul. What do you have to do to observe Dwadashi? Break the fast. Right? It's very simple. In one place, Guru Maharaj said, more dear. That can also be said. And how do you observe that? By taking a little grain, what was forbidden the day before, you take one grain and it's pleasing to Krishna. So what is the criterion? Is what is pleasing to Krishna. Not, I'm trying to escape the wrong I've done. Like a bunch of karmis. Right? Go to confession and confess, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Confess on Saturday, go to church on Sunday, and start sinning on Monday. It's good work if you can get it. Mayi bhaktir what the Braja Gopi say, ahuschatena lina nava padaravinde yogeshware hridivichinta magada bodhe sangsara kupa patito taranavalamvam geham jushamapi manasi suudiyat sadana. They tell Krishna, we're not karmis, we're not yogis, we're not gyanis. We're fallen householders. Sangsara kupa. Like the Andakupa you hear about in the scriptures, the blind well of household life, that's us. But even though that may be who we are, still we can't live without your lotus feet. So in such a self-denigrating, sweet and affectionate way, they present themselves. And they're worshipped as the highest devotees. So Srila Guru Maharaj said, quoting Saraswati Thakur, interestingly, he compared Ekadashi, Mahadwadashi, other dates too. He said, first understand, it is a prakrita. This is a very beautiful thing. I was saying before, it looks like it's mundane, but it's not. So, how does it appear to be? He said, from a mundane point of view, astrologically speaking, the earth is under the influence of the moon. Tides, also the flow of liquid. At a particular time of the month, the desire due to increased flow of ras, the desire to enjoy is greater. So you need to make yourself dry. So fasting is recommended, and also abstaining from foods that can agitate the senses or increase enjoying tendency. This is from an external point of view. Right? And pointed out also that each one comes the 2 times one. We're most intense, full moon, and Amavasya, new moon. So a few days before that, you make an adjustment. Pull back. But still, this is external. Right? But there, a prakrita. Here's where prakrita comes in. And Krishna, his desire at this time is also greater. But what is his desire? When I say Krishna's desire, or the calm of the Braja Gopis, this isn't mundane desire. What's pleasing to Krishna is devotion. It's inconceivable how the Braja Gopis serve, but nonetheless it's devotion. Atmendriya priti ichadare bolekam, Krishnendriya priti ichadare premanam. What's done to satisfy our own notion of things and senses, that's kam. What's done to satisfy Krishna, Krishnendriya, Krishna Indriya, the senses of Krishna, and Krishna consideration, premanam, that's prem. But they may look similar. Guru Maharaj said they may look similar, but there's different at North Pole, South Pole, in difference. So, what is really behind this? Why is it Bhakti Janani, giving birth to devotion? Because at this time, Krishna's desire is more. The higher devotees, Guru Maharaj said, they're giving so much attention to Krishna at that time, they don't have time to even think about eating anything. They're not leaving his side for a moment. They're just serving him. Can't think about eating, and forget everything. The higher devotees. Right? And from this plane, also the devotees are thinking, all right, so for these external reasons, we're going to fast this way and that way to check the mundane tendency, but more importantly, we're going to serve. By a little bit of services this time, it's magnified. Right? It's like, what do you call exponentially. Right? Little service draws greater remuneration at that time. Right? But the emphasis, like we told him, will be on service. Not some trick, a trick I can do to achieve some devotional position. That would be mundane. That would be objective evolution, not subjective evolution. That would be, again, manipulating the mundane to achieve the spiritual. That it's not that by fasting you get devotion. But by, as Gurudev said, by giving your energy to Krishna, once in Navadvip, he said that, like, if you don't feel something, there are different levels we know of observing. No water, some fruits, this, fast up to this time, and then after that, different ways. But Gurudev, the bottom line, he said, if you don't feel something, and we all, I think, know what that means. You feel a little, Mahananda Prabhu once said, why is it like, you could skip breakfast on any other day, but on Ekadashi, you really feel it. It's true. Or, you can tolerate your hair, your fingernails, everything. On Ekadashi, your fingernails are driving you crazy. Want to cut them. Get a haircut. Shave your head. And, we know this is true by our practical experience. So Gurudev said, if you don't feel something on these fasts, and we say, well, how do I know you've got to feel something. But accordingly, different devotees can observe to, I realize it's like eternally 7:32. I was thinking, boy, time's just not moving. The contraction and expansion of time and space. It's okay. Okay. What time is it? Oh, okay. All right. Now I feel better because I'm losing my mind on camera. So, what was I saying? Oh, how different devotees can observe in different ways. Oh, about feeling something. And Gurudev said, in that way, something's being offered to Krishna. That's what he meant. Some of your energy, what you're feeling, he equated it in that way. That's what's being given to Krishna. So we're happy about that. And we know at the same time, some of the superior devotees, like Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, I've been a witness, and Guru Maharaj mentioned it on his disappearance day once in praise of him. The whole night, chanting Krishna Nam and Kirtan, the songs. And once in Mayapur that night, we were in this room with him, and devotees were asking him different questions, and he's giving that answer, Hare Krishna. So someone said, Babaji Maharaj, how to overcome sex desire? He said, you are trying, I am trying, Hare Krishna. We got some encouragement. But anyway, that night, it was like 11, 12, I remember I got to play the drum at one point, and he went like, give me the drum. First I was like, wow. And he goes, but anyway, kept singing, and then now it's midnight. He doesn't show any signs of fatigue. And then we're all like falling, now we're all asleep. And we went to sleep to the sound of him taking Krishna Nam. And when we woke up at 4:15 or whenever, there was, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He was still chanting. So he did that so many times. And recently, our god sister, Devamoyi Didi, she left the world. And she was a wonderful disciple of Srila Guru Maharaj and favorite of Srila Gurudev, extraordinary Vaishnavi. When she was a little girl, she used to go to Madhava Maharaj's mat. Guru Maharaj, whenever he mentioned Madhava Maharaj's name, he'd have to go, Hayagriva Brahmachari. Because he was known as Hayagriva Brahmachari in the Gaudiya Mat. So even though he was Madhava Maharaj, this famous Maharaj, established maybe 25 mats, very powerful preacher, very handsome also. When Devamuni was a little girl, she would sometimes like sit on Madhava, when she was like a toddler, sit on Madhava Maharaj's lap, and he gave her some mercy and liked her. She would go to his mat. So, and Srila Gurudev, when she translated things sometimes from Bengali to English or back, or she translated some things of Gurudev once, some English, and he said, it became better than the original. He gave such praise to her. And I had the good fortune to have her association at different times. She had some affection for me, very kind to me, always encouraging me. And once we were working on this publication called Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, and I had her and her team, which is her daughters. They were always like her team, her girls, her assistants, doing some transliteration and things like that. Anyway, I had to call her about something. She wrote the biographical parts. And it was on Ekadashi, and the call was, say, at around 10 o'clock at night. And they were on the phone, and then we started talking about Srila Guru Maharaj and Mahaprabhu, Gaur Katha, Krishna Katha, Vaishnava Katha, and then it was like midnight, 1 o'clock. Then I know that at a certain point, the sun rose. So we realized the whole evening had been spent engaged in Harikatha. And in a chaste way, telephone, she was in one location, I'm in another one, and service related. But I thought, oh, what a personality that to get so absorbed in talking about Krishna and Guru Maharaj and all these things, to spend the whole evening discussing. That can happen if it's meant to happen, but so we hear the higher section, Babaji Maharaj is always doing that every Ekadashi. That was his capacity, adhikar, capacity to do that. When I went to Srila Guru Maharaj, was getting to know him and come to the point of offering myself to his lotus feet. For a while, a brief time, maybe a few months, half a year, I forget what it was, a year at the most, I would only take water on Ekadashi. So I was there at the mat one time, and then Guru Maharaj at the end of his talk, he said, so you can go and take some anukalpa, that means a little fruit, that type of prasadam. And I said, well, I've been thinking maybe I should perform some sort of austerity or fast a little bit at these times. Maybe that'll be good for me. And Guru Maharaj very tactfully, diplomatically, respectfully, although he, on his divine lotus face was a little bit of apprehension, he said, oh, well, perhaps your Guru Maharaj wanted you to be that way, referring to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In other words, if it's Guru's order, because we're also told about Ekadashi and such days as today, what doesn't constitute violating the order of Guru, the order of a Brahmin, medicine, there's a list of the things that do not violate. Because once that Madhava Maharaj, who was such a dynamic servitor, Saraswati Thakur in Janmastami, where you should fast until midnight, told him, because he would have to go to the camp on the Brajamandal Parikrama to establish the next encampment. Saraswati Thakur told him to take full prasadam, and for Bengali that means rice. Anna means rice, grains. So Madhava Maharaj didn't do that. But he did eat something. But Guru Maharaj made a point. He said if Saraswati Thakur had told that to Professor Sanyal, he said, then he must eat greens because it's the order of Guru. So anyway, the order of Guru does not, following the order of Guru does not constitute a violation. But that said, what was the point I was making? Oh, what he told me. Yeah, so he said, if your Gurudev wanted you to be like, he's showing deference to that. And then I was learning to be honest with Srila Guru Maharaj. So I said, well, no, he didn't tell me to do that. And he personally didn't do that. So Guru Maharaj looked at me as if to say, then why are you doing it? It's not the order of your Guru. He didn't demonstrate it by his own behavior. So what motivates you? Right? Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhakti arutama. How does Rupa Goswami define Shuddha Bhakti? What is the motivation? Then I realized Guru Maharaj had gently brought me to the truth. Then I said, what do you want me to do? Like Arjuna said, Sishas teham sarimam tvam prapannam. I'm tired of trying to figure this stuff out myself. What do you want me to do? Guru Maharaj said, take a little prasadam. Anukalp, like I told you in the beginning. And he said, this is not Mahaprabhu's line. This kind of, tapa. And don't think that Raghunath Das Goswami, he's in the group who's so absorbed internally that it's resulting in external vairagya that is mind-blowing and to the extreme. It's not that he's practicing vairagya to achieve something. It's the outcome of internal absorption. But anyway, that's what he told. And the Srila Guru Maharaj's principle was, observe in such a way as you do not become incapacitated for service. That's the guiding principle, the sutra. Observe in such a way as you do not incapacitate yourself for service. And that'll be slightly varied according to individual capacity. But stay focused on the point is we're aspiring servitors.